Hello and welcome back to the channel. Continuing on with the 148 scale Cessna 150 build. Last chapter, I'd gotten the motor mounted in the front bulkhead here, and I was getting the front cowling glued together so we can determine how long to make the connecting shaft for the propeller, which I have right here. Isn't exactly. So here's a little control panel with the control sticks on it. And here's the bottom part of the cowling, and here's the little shaft I made, and here's the propeller. So I'm gonna get the camera in the tripod here. I was waiting for the pin vise and the drills to come in, which they have. All right. So now you can see how close this is going to be. I can too. About how that shaft is going to be like right there. So I'm going to have to set that electric motor back as far as it'll go before I make the final glue in. And I also am going to commit to making a hole back here behind this bulkhead to put the brass mounting tube where all the wiring is going to run down through. Right? So here is, so this is how I'm doing this. Not everybody needs one of these things, but I just happen to have one because of the other projects that I do. I got a digital caliper here. I take these and measure the diameter of the motor shaft, which is about 0.8 of a millimeter. So, and these are the tiny drills. These are the tiny ones. Here's some bigger ones that are come with the set. Here's a pin. Here's the handheld pin vise that you just use as a hand drill with this hobby and model work. Okay, so and I think the orange one is the size I'm looking for. So we'll see this here. It's like 1/10 of a millimeter smaller, so that'll be a snug fit. So now the idea is now I gotta trim this down to length, is the connecting shaft, and then I'm gonna put it in my electric drill and use that as a kind of lathe, and as it spins around you'll be able to identify the center, and I'll go in with a brand new X-Acto knife, and or I can get what I'll really do, I think, is mark it with a pencil, and then I'll go in with an X-Acto knife and kind of start a hole, and then use the pin drill to actually bore in the hole. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay. I got the shaft made and I glued it to the propeller. The next part, I think I'm just going to button this up and make sure I leave room to get the wing wiring down in through and all that. And then we'll move on from there with putting a hole in the bottom for the brass tube that's going to mount this to the little diorama board or mounting board I got. Okay. So I'm putting the windows in, the wings and all that, and I got the control yokes in with the instrument panel, and boy, their directions show one thing, but you go to put it in the model, and the little ridge that's supposed to be molded in, boy, this focusing deal ain't working too good. The little ridge that's supposed to be molded into the fuselage just isn't there, so you gotta figure on where exactly it's gotta go and all that kind of stuff, and hope that when they molded all this stuff, that the control panel is going to be narrow enough so when I put the halves of the fuselage together, it's all going to come together, or else I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, carve one end of it off a little bit in order to get the halves that come together. So I'll have to wait till this dries completely before I can move forward with that. So that's where I'm at right now, just waiting for stuff to dry. And because of that, you know, you just have to hold it in this position. So one thing I want to do before I sit and wait for this glue to dry, I really want to see how this looks. I don't know if how much I covered this in a previous episode. It's been a little while. So I got the lens in for the landing light, takeoff light, whatever you want to call it, right? And I want to hook that up and see how that looks. So that's what I'm going to do here. Okay, so I got the battery hooked up for the landing light, and I must say it's more than bright enough. It's really impressive, I must say. So this is going to look really, really nice when the model's all finished and put together with the strobes and the running lights going. And oh yeah, man, this is going to look pretty good. So until that time, I was wanting to see what this looked like with the lens in it. So it's kind of like straight on. Here's what it looks like on the top. It's a lot different when it's live. I mean, the camera catches it a lot differently. The intensity of the brightness seems a little bit more. But yeah, with this clear window piece in there, it really emphasizes the effect there. So it looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. So I was too curious about how this propeller thing's gonna work out, and it's looking pretty good. Okay, so I went ahead and glued the fuselage halves together and got the cowling on. Let's take a look at it now. Okay, so here's the motor in the engine compartment, and I got the cowling in the front fairing there glued on, and so got the wiring routed down through the fuselage here, and the hole made for the brass tubing that's going to mount this. Also, I found a pathway behind the seats and down through the bulkhead there, and then I got this wire threaded down through there so that when the wing goes on, I'll be able to tie up all those wires together and just pull that right through. That'll be for next time. So I'm wanting to see how this propeller shaft fits on here. Is it the right distance? All that kind of stuff. So we'll get that here and fit that and see where that goes. Okay, so looks like it's working out pretty good. I got some wiggle room here. I guess I could push the motor up here a little bit. Get some space in there. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks good. So I'll just put some 2-part epoxy in there, right, and glue that motor into the mount there. And we'll grab us a little battery here and see how this works. wow. Huh. Okay. Of course, we're going to glue that on too. All right, let's turn the polarity around. Maybe that'll do something better. Oh, no, that ain't doing it either. Yeah, it's not very tight. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, we have a slight technical difficulty. We're gonna see if we can put a sliver of wood in there. There we go, that's a little snugger. Alright, we'll just hold the back of the motor here a little bit. Push that on there all the way. There we go. Alright, let's give it another go. See if it'll stay on. There we go. Now it's wobbling around. Oh, that's probably because it's not glued in. Yeah, it's vibrating around. There we are. See, that'll be better once I glue it in. It sounds like a little airplane, doesn't it? So maybe I'll try and shave that shaft down a little bit and quell down that noise. But that's where we're at right now. Is this the right way, or is it blowing this way? Yeah. So at least the polarities, I guessed it the right way. So it's pretty good under the circumstances. Yeah, I'm gonna have to push that forward so that clears out a little bit, and that shaft that's on there. Right, I'll just shave this down, reduce the diameter of it and all that, and that'll keep it from vibrating around inside of that cowling there. So that's where we're at now. Thanks for stopping by the channel and checking me out. For next time, we'll have the wings on and the glass, the glass installed, and we'll start masking stuff off and getting some painting done. So until then, be cool. Peace out.